nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 2, we will call to order the February 5th, 2026 Village Board meeting. Roll call shows all trustees are in attendance, all staff is in attendance, and our attorney is present. 4, agenda changes. Are there any? Okay. 5, consent agenda. A, January 15th, 2026 regular board meeting minutes. B, presentation of accounts and other claims against the village. If there are no questions, I would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda.
A second. Roll call. Jim?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Abstain, I'll be here.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. 6, pre-registered citizens to be heard.
None.
7, committee reports. There are none. 8, unfinished business from previous meetings. There's none. 9, new business. A, discussion and possible action on O-1-26, amending the burning ordinance.
So this was actually done through the fire department and our village attorney. Our fire chief is in the audience and can answer any questions about the changes, along with our attorney as well.
Does anyone have any questions for Jack?
I only have one. Just do we have a copy of the actual form, or has that been created yet, or
It has been created.
it has been just? And it's just a simple. Can somebody pull that up online, or how do they?
They need to get a copy of that, correct?
Yeah, we didn't put it in the agenda or in the ordinance, but there is a form. We just saved it. I can show you it at a different time. I don't have a.
I have one with you.
Oh, okay.
It's just a matter of like so, because that's the question I'm going to get on a Saturday afternoon. You know, where is this form?
So we'll
Yeah.
be posting it online on our.
Okay.
Just pass it down. On our website under probably fire department.
Okay,
section.
so it'll just be on the village website. That was the only question I had.
I'm guessing Hortonville will probably also put it on there.
So maybe I do have another question. So then who's policing this? So let's say somebody on a Saturday afternoon is burning and it seems to be bigger than what would be part of this list of exceptions. Is it the PD then that goes? Or I guess does somebody just report this, or how does this work?
They'll probably somebody will call 911 and we'll get dispatched out there.
Yeah. Okay. But like the officers, like if they see something, they could stop in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's similar to.
It would probably be a mix.
Yeah, it'd be similar
Yeah,
to our
okay.
other ordinances when it came to burning, is that there'd be communication with the fire department
Yes.
about it. And
The landowner will get a copy of that form too as they sign it.
Perfect,
As
thank
you sign
you.
it too, and then if the cops do show up there and they see your form, you don't have one.
it's
Yeah.
a violation, we'd say.
Again, that's not my reasoning behind this, I'm just trying to be proactive, more of a safety thing.
Oh no, I get it. So
If
then
there are
there's,
no other questions, we would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve O-1-26, the Village of Hortonville ordinance amending the Village of Hortonville outdoor burning ordinance.
I'll second.
Roll.
So you should have got it handed out here at your seat. Basically, the last thing to be done is just we're just kind of in this last conversation between their attorney and our attorney on some of the wording, which doesn't. Most of it is not gonna cause any differences in obligations for the village, and not give us any more liability, is kind of where it's at. The attorney's been trying to get a hold of theirs, and they've just been playing phone tag back and forth, for the past few days, so, I think it'll probably be done in the next day or two. But I guess the idea would be to have potentially the developer's agreement, contingent upon the village attorney approving the final wording and confirming that it does not create any additional obligations, liabilities beyond that contract. So that's kind of where we're at with it. Yeah. Is there
So are you actually looking for a motion on this tonight? 'Cause
I would, I think the two things are things that we've already agreed to, that the attorneys are just talking through the wording of it, because I don't know, so, I have a feeling it's very small, changes at this point, but basically, if they come back and say that we're gonna change something that might impact us, if, Von Ferguson comes back and says this is actually substantial, then we bring it back, but I think where they're at right now, with the number one on here, on the memo, basically is stuff that we've already kind of agreed to. We know where that's at, so that's not gonna be an issue of a change. And then number two is something that's, again, that's kind of how we had it set up, that the guaranteed value is cumulative. That way, we feel like we can hold them to that standard throughout the development. So, I don't really see this as a problematic, issues to kind of overcome at this point.
And if they do have any changes, you'll maybe
They would come
you'll
back before signature.
let us know, and
Yes.
I don't mind making a motion to approve this, but can we get both of these then as additional documents online then?
Yeah,
So-
the issue is that these are,
Probably brand new, I get it. I guess I just wanna make sure, cause if I'm saying that it's as presented, that
Yes.
it's not,
it'll be online as additional documents.
okay. Then I'll make a motion to approve the developer's agreement between the Village of Hortonville and McHugh Construction, Nature's Haven, as presented to the board on February 5th.
I'll second.
roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. C, discussion and possible action on actuator valve replacement quotes.
So there's 3 quotes to replace the actuator valve in the plant. The first one from Dorner, we actually only need items 2 and 3. That is the cheapest and matches the other valves that we have in the plant already.
Does anyone have questions for Aaron?
On the crane one, that was had a lead time of 10 to 12 weeks. What was the lead on this one?
A lot shorter, they have it available.
Cool.
If there are no other questions, we need a motion to accept one.
I'll make a motion to accept the Dorner quote in the amount of $8,940 for the replacement of the actuator valve.
I'll second.
Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
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 Motion carried. D, discussion on Main Street.
To make it a crossing, so we wouldn't be able to put it in the location that we were talking about it. So at this point, it's probably not gonna go in that location. So we threw that out for now. They were good with the one RRFB in the downtown on the east segment, so that one's fine. The intersection here on Nash, they did add in the stop sign. They have a few more pedestrian crossing signs. They shortened the the lane to turn right. Ideally, the decision behind that is not to have, you have a longer lane, you have someone going at a faster speed to go there. Unfortunately, you have a crossing there, and then you got a stop sign, so we just want to limit people speeding up through that right lane. So that was why the shorter lane made more sense.
And they added an additional pedestrian crossing sign before it too.
The problem with, so right now, the design has a stop sign after the pedestrian crossing. The issue with putting it before is the location of that intersection. If you have the stop sign behind, they couldn't see the vehicles potentially that they're needing to look for in the four-way stop from that location. Based on the angles, they'd be set back too far, was the reasoning. But they did put it in front of it, so the idea is they would creep up to it.
Still safer than a yield there.
Yeah. I think that's,
Concrete to asphalt.
yeah, I mentioned in my update that the plan is to switch from concrete to asphalt. Just the pricing just started bloating, so the county and village kind of came to the decision it made more sense to make a little more savings there. You know, it's not a big difference. I think for most residents, they're not going to see a difference in it. It's not like we don't have water and sewer under it. It would be nicer, probably, cheaper for us in the future, even for stormwater management purposes. If we do have to fix anything, we're not replacing the concrete. So, yeah. We do intend to still go out for bids on, I think, February 16th.
Sometime this month.
Yeah. That's pretty much all we have for an update. Is there questions?
No questions? Okay, we will move on to E, discussion and possible action on the MOU police union update.
I'll take this, it was in the packet. Just a little history on this position. Back in 2022, we created this position out of a desire, because we were having a struggle finding part-timers, retaining them, and we realized that we were losing some money by following that process. And so we created this 64-hour position, like I said, about 4 years ago. Brought this to the board back in December, because we've still seen turnover in that position. And then when I looked at the average amount of hours that position was working in a payroll, I was finding that to be like 72 to 76 in the last 2 years. And so we discussed and approved an 80-hour position for that flex officer position. You can see we took a look at and rather than just going in and changing it 64 to 80, we really wanted to take a look at what the wording all was in there, and there were just a lot of things that didn't apply. And so we went through and made sure that it fits the position and what makes the most amount of sense. Really, there isn't a whole lot of changes other than, it's a full-time position, it's 80 hours in a payroll, you know, and the schedule is set by the chief of police at a minimum of 2 weeks in advance. Did send this off to legal, they've reviewed. The only question they had really on it was about minimums of hours, which is already set forth in a different article in the contract, so it's all addressed previously in the contract. The second part of this, the village, I know Public Works just had this discussion with the board about the payouts on uniform allowance. It's a discussion that we've had internally, and I'd just say our officers are using this clothing allowance throughout the year, but our current practice is an officer goes out and it could be just a very minor item, a $10 item. They purchase it, they bring me the receipt, we ensure that it's tax exempt. Then we write an invoice on it, goes over to the admin office, then comes to the board for approval. And there just gets to be a lot of resources involved for these small items, and to me, it makes more sense. This money is allocated for them, they would be paid out this amount. It would be less resources involved of tracking and banking and, yeah, so I think just from a resource standpoint, it makes more sense. Nothing really changes in there other than just saying that we would pay them out of this amount. What I would say is, maybe I didn't mention this, they are using this, so it just really changes on how we would wanna handle paying it out versus following that invoice process.
Chief, who's your union rep?
Tyler, and he is here.
Were there any of the officers, did they look at any of this? Did they have any concerns?
No, there was no concerns from the officers. We were all the meeting was on board with all the changes.
Okay.
Does anyone have questions for Brian? Or Tyler?
What kind of action do you need, like a motion to move this memorandum of understanding forward, or how do you, what are you looking for?
Motion to accept and allow myself and Jeannie to sign it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding between the Village of Hortonville and the Hortonville Police Association, Wisconsin Professional Police Association, LER, and Nathan Treadwell and Jeannie Belisle to act on behalf to move forward with this.
I'll second.
Roll call, Jim?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. 10, report of village officials. A, clerk treasurer, Jane.
We missed one.
Yeah, we got that.
Oops. What did I do?
F.
Oh, yeah, forgot F. Sorry. F, discussion and possible action on sale of property.
So this is part of the Main Street reconstruction. We're getting these TLEs in. I've signed off on a few of them because they don't actually transfer land. This is the only one that actually has a land transfer. So they're looking at acquiring basically this red piece along the bridge in the creek. For some reason, it's part of our parcel. That's what they're requesting to buy from us. That's what the 350 or 364 is for.
So this one's not temporary, this one would be a
The-
permanent sale?
Well, this portion is a permanent sale.
The area in red.
Yep.
So for what purpose did they want that?
I think they're just trying to clean up.
Just to clean it up?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the watershed, so I don't know why we even have it as ownership, I guess. I don't know. I think it's better not to own it. So,
So it's just that little pie-shaped
yes.
piece.
No.
Only half of that.
Just a sale, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, most likely there's gonna be different paperwork that'll come through that's gonna be an actual, like,
Yeah.
deed transfer stuff, I'm guessing.
So is there anything identifying this, like other than just parcel number 4?
4 is a larger parcel.
Okay.
It's just a portion of the, parcel, it's a portion of parcel number 4.
So
I'm thinking of parcel 5 is larger.
how do you want this identified in a motion, I guess that's the question.
I think what you need is, so what this document is, it's a waiver of your appraisal rights. So when there's land being taken by eminent domain, obviously you have the right to counter with your own appraisal that's paid for by the state. So if you wanted to have an appraisal done, if you think the value of this existing, the parcel is more than $345, you would say, no, we're not gonna waive our appraisal rights. So they have to go through the formulating process of having an appraiser come to you, submit an appraiser, and the board could then get its own appraisal with a specific time frame to do so. And then it goes through the offer. If it's not, then they complete the eminent domain process. So what this is a waiver of basically your rights to have an appraiser. You're basically saying, we're fine with this 345.80. And at that point, the state would then draw up a quitclaim deed where the village would then transfer the property to the state.
Okay, and then maybe I'm mixing something else up, because there is a waiver of appraisal in here, but that is more where there's a tree and electrical elements. That's not this property, right?
It's part of this property.
It is
That's-
part of it.
That's the temporary limited easement portion.
Okay,
So it's a mix, they got both in here.
they got both, okay, this, now it makes, I thought maybe I had a case of the dumb there for a minute. But, so there's two different things here. There's a TLE,
Right.
and then there's also a sale.
Yep.
So we're only talking about the sale tonight, right?
I mean, you could approve both. The normal TLE is something the staff normally approves. The only, like I said, the only reason you guys are getting this here is because of the actual land being sold.
How do we identify that piece in the motion for the sale?
So you'd have a motion to approve the waiver of appraisal for the fee acquisition of 364 square feet to the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
I think it's the county, actually.
Yeah.
I think the county is the agent that'll end up receiving it, though.
Okay, this is the county.
The county. I mean, I'll make a motion to approve as stated by the village attorney. For the 345 square feet.
360.
Thank you, 364 square feet of property for $345.80.
I'll second.
Roll call. Jim?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now we will go to 10. A, clerk treasurer.
My report was in the packet.
Are there any questions for Jane? Okay, we'll move to B, Director of Public Works. Aaron?
My report was in the packet. There is one change. Public facilities meeting is actually on February 19th at 5 p.m., not an hour and a half ago.
At 5?
Yep.
You said? Okay. Any questions? Move to C, Police Chief. Brian?
Reports in the packet, just a couple things. Jack's doing really well on training. As you see in the packet, it was a busy January, busy start to the year. I'm just kind of working out our 26 training schedule, looking at some Axon Colts and some things with our tasers and body cameras. I've got some numbers back on that, and I feel like they were astronomical. So kind of working through some strategies with that. I think we've got a good plan to maintain some of our equipment.
Any questions for Brian? Okay, we'll move to D, Library Director. Ally?
Not a whole lot. Next Tuesday, I will be going down to Madison with another staff member as well as a library board trustee for Library Legislative Day, and having meetings with our local senators and representatives to talk about library funding and library stuff.
Any questions for Ally? Okay, we'll move to E, Attorney. Tyler?
Yeah, so I'm filling in for Ashley this week. She's on vacation, so right before the baby comes. Other than that, my update will probably come later down in the meeting. Other than that, there's nothing else.
All right. F, Administrator. Nathan?
Just kind of spent some time trying to get some of these projects going for this next year. Working on trying to finish out the developers agreement was most of it, and a few of the other legal back and forth about some other things that are going on too with the zoning code updates and stuff like that, and then dealing with some of the planning and zoning stuff that will be coming up in the next month. Well, next week and then the next month. So We got a few things coming up here, so we'll do some stuff going on.
Have you heard anything on, Oak and Nash? That we were gonna do a study and, maybe do a 4-week stop?
Not yet.
Nothing? Are you gonna proceed with pushing them?
I'm waiting until they get the Main Street stuff done, and then
Okay.
I can go.
Okay.
I'm waiting for them to I wanna get that out, and then I feel like maybe bother them, but
Okay,
I don't wanna distract them too much.
true. Any other questions? Okay, G, building permit report is in the packet. H, any other miscellaneous topics for future discussion? Anyone? Okay, we'll go to 11, communications and miscellaneous business. A, Black Otter Lake District News, Bob.
I get to save my reports in the packet.
Okay. B, Hortonville, Hortonia Fire District News, Jim?
Nothing new.
Nothing new. And C, Gold Cross Ambulance Run Report and News, there's none in the packet this time. D, Hortonville Civic Association, Jane, nothing new. And E, Senior Activities, Jane.
Meeting next Thursday at noon here.
Okay. 12, comments and suggestions from citizens present. Are there any? Okay, we'll move to 13, a motion to go into closed session. And you need to read them both.
We probably don't need the second one.
Oh, we don't know?
It was only on there just in case you guys wanted to go into close under it,
Oh,
for the if you had questions on the contract, MOU,
okay.
that you didn't feel comfortable talking about.
So then just the first one.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session under state statute 19.851G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved, ambulance fees, litigation exception.
I'll second.
Roll call, Jim?
Aye.
Aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 14, we would need 5 minutes recess to clear the meeting room. 17, any action on matters discussed in closed session? There is none. 18, I would need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. It is 7:10.